Hey everybody, welcome back to another War of the Visions video. Today we're going to be talking about the tower, and we're also going to take a look at my account after 100 days straight of playing the game. So let's get into the video. So I hope there's at least like one or two of you that was like, where's Mysidia been for the last week? So I was away for the weekend, and I also have just started teaching summer school, which is super intense. Every single day of summer school is like a full week of regular school. So it's a lot of prep to plan a course for summer school. So that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on. But I am back and ready to start making more videos again after that initial push of planning and preparation that I had to do. So today we're going to be talking mainly about the tower, and then as part of that I'm going to show off my account because they are connected quite a bit in terms of what units you've developed and who your backup units are, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tower. Alright, so here we are at the Porcelain Tower, and we'll take a quick look at my progress. I'm currently at floor 19. Now, this slowed down quite a bit around floor 15. That's when I hit my first barrier and I wiped, and then I took a day to do that, and then floor 16, and then I sped up a little bit when I started to get the hang of using extra characters and planning out the stages a little bit more. But one place that I kind of messed up was this whole recovery thing where I've used it later and later every day, and then it's available later and later every day, and I wish I had just used it at the first reset. But I am, now that I'm working a lot more, I'm not playing as late at night, so it's harder to do things at reset and harder to do things in the morning when I'm getting ready to go to work, etc. So there's definitely been an adjustment there. But talking about the tower in general, this has definitely been exactly the type of content that I was waiting for. The challenge has felt super appropriate for my account. Their first 11 to 12 levels I was autoing with no skills, and then I started using sub-job skills, and then I hit the wall at 15, and turns out I could have been using a lot more skills before that, but you know, it all worked out. I just wasn't prepared for those toad-loving wizards. Seriously, they were just casting it like crazy, and that slowed me down quite a bit. And when my first party wiped, I realized that I needed to use my secondary characters, and I had a bit of a rude awakening to how I've been treating those characters and their progression. So I don't think it's any mistake by Gumi that we have double XP, double JP story mode right now. That is very much planned, as is the absence of any major farming content. Like all we have right now is the flan, but that's not like a leave your device on all day farming type thing. That's you're playing it and doing the hard mode to get the drops. So I think that was expertly planned by Gumi, so you could go into the tower and do your best, and then figure out what do I need to work on, go get some job materials, go get some EXP, whatever it is, and then kind of work on your units. So that being said, let's take a look at the main units that I've been using in the tower. So I have a decent amount of units leveled up, and the main party I was going into each floor with before I put auto off was Ramza, Victora, Mont, Ryu, and Gafgarian. And then as soon as I put skills on, Mediana was in there as well. So I've also got Mastery here at Awaken 5 and LB 3, and she's actually been really good at this level. Like she's been huge. She has heals, she has damaging spells, she can take a few hits. She's got a lot going on, and it's been very useful to have her as that spare piece in a lot of fights. She's able to push my team over the edge, especially paired with Ramza. So Ramza has an ability that you might not know about if you don't actually own him, but if you take a look at his Squire ability, he's got Chant, which consumes own HP to restore allies' HP. So this heal it's about like 200, 300 damage to him, and then heals for about 1600 to the person that he's healing, and you get a lot of uses. You get 6 uses, and it's a TP skill, so there's a lot of benefit to it. So having Ramza as a healer was actually a really, really huge part of my tower success, and then just in general, his Spellblade abilities are solid, but what's really helped is the ninja abilities, and it actually made me want to level them up. So this has been a really good eye-opener for me. I was getting kind of complacent with my units and their sub-jobs, and now I'm exploring more. So now I actually want to give Ramza Ninja a try. I've got a +5 Assault Nag as well that I can throw on there, so he's ready to go as a ninja. I definitely want to give that a try in PvP sometime. But moving on to other units that have been super useful to me, Victora has just been absolutely incredible. She does so much damage, her jumps are really good, and I've just been really impressed with her. Ryu has not been doing that much damage, but he's been perfect for that second wave, where the first wave goes in, all my units are taking out or damaging a lot of enemies, and then I have to send my second wave in. Ryu can pick off a lot of units or lower their HP so that my other secondary units are able to finish them off. So that's been a really cool thing to use with him. Now, Ayak has been another obviously huge one, and we all knew that from the start. Holy is good, healing's good, LB is good. Not much to say there other than be careful not to let her die, because she's also got full life and raise, which is really nice for pulling someone out of a dungeon that died and having them ready for the next one. Although it becomes harder and harder to spend time healing people up before the fight begins in later stages. At the beginning, if someone dies in earlier stages, you can kind of bring them in low health to the next one and have all your healers heal them back up and then get a lot of use out of them. That is harder to do the farther it goes on, so that's why full life is obviously a really big deal. And I actually have 2 of those users. I have Ayaka and I have a 99 Phoebe. And now Phoebe's been really great because she has a surprising amount of tankiness, and I don't really know why it is, because all of her resistances are down 5%, but she's just, whenever I've put her in my party, she seems to be doing really well defense-wise, and that's been really solid. So she survives. Her DPS output is very low, but that's okay because she has Quicken, and you're quickening all your other units to go on and do more and more and more. So otherwise notable people includes Gafgarian, and he is someone that I just recently maxed. I just maxed him for the Vermilion. I've been giving that to Mont so he can put more tank equipment on, and I hadn't used him that much, and now obviously I've got him quite leveled up, and I'm finding out what everybody already knew about him, and that is that he is a huge damage dealer. He can seriously pack a punch in this tower. I've got my Dark Slasher now, thanks to Cabbage's recommendations on getting a Dark Slasher. I knew that was another reason to max him, but he's been absolutely a tower MVP. Etra, surprisingly, has been very good as well. I maxed her recently to get a accessory TMR that doesn't have a skill on it to help with correcting AI. I also like the stats that it gives. This is a really solid TMR on Ryu, and I've also been putting it on Victoria as well to make her go straight forward and get her some extra little stats. So I do really like that TMR, and especially at the rate that I can level units, I have to take the TMRs I can get. Like, it's not as easy as just saying, oh, just grab, all these other TMRs. Like, that would be great, but that's not always an option for me. Although I do really, really want Mashery's TMR at some point. So Etra, she's been absolutely awesome, and it's part of because of how tanky she is. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. We've got 4 move and 3 jump, so she's mobile. Her agility is relatively good. For having leveled her as far as I have and compared to my other units, it's relatively good. But what's great is that she gets a lot of HP HP up, she gets agility up, and she gets like tanky abilities from her night skills and her night panels. So she actually ends up becoming kind of a sturdy character, and I'm not talking about like she's in my front team leading as a tank. I'm talking about the secondary team that I send into the tower. All of a sudden I've got Etra that can hit people with range with her monk abilities. She can go and run in front of somebody and plug a hole and take more than one hit. Like, she's been really solid in that aspect. Her attack is just so low. That's the big issue. But I'm actually really curious about her now. She's got some really interesting jobs. I think if she had another attack-based job instead of cleric, then she might actually be a really solid MR. But because of the scatteredness of her ability panels, she's never going to be too good at anything, especially because monk is already not like a top tier job, it seems like. But I do really like the night skills. Those are always really solid as well. So I've been messing around a lot with her, and I'm very curious. I want to see what happens when I max her panels and jobs and stuff, and I start to get things like chakra. I start to grab things, let's see here, like revive. What's gonna happen in the tower? Is this going to be super useful? Is she going to be like running around doing like little bits of healing, little bits of reviving people, and that kind of thing? Or like her cure is never going to heal her for that much, but even just having auto cure is one of the coolest reaction abilities around, because if you throw her up there as a tank and then she starts taking hits, she has a chance to heal herself every time she takes a hit. So there's definitely some really cool theory crafting to do with Etra, and I definitely want to try using her more in the future, not in PvP, but just in PvE content, especially the next tower. I want to have her ready to go for the next tower to see if she can be my Etra of all trades. Another very cool thing about the tower is how much it's made you think about your team and what you're bringing into each level. So something that was really cool was when I got to the fire stage, I didn't bring Ramada in my first go. She's a water unit, so she's strong against all those fire units, because I stopped her progress at Awaken 4. But when I did bring her in, I found that she was actually doing okay damage despite her low attack, and I haven't worked on her in a while. I actually found that she was really, really good at cleaning up that stage, and it really made me think about what I need to do next time I go through the tower. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to do this tower more than once. I'm just going to try to beat level 20, but in the future, I'm just really excited for the possibilities of like which characters to bring in. Things like bringing in Vadim and using his thief abilities was really solid. He's someone that I developed purely to have someone to work on my unit's brave with his samurai abilities, and then now he's been a pretty neat little utility unit. Someone like Sosha I've been working on, so that maybe I might go for her TMR at some point to have more options in the accessories panel, but now I'm realizing that how jumps are really solid with Victoria, and it makes me want to level her as well, because she's got some really great skills and can do some good damage. It's good to have that wind element as well. Belo and Liarte are more fan favorites for me. I want to build a Kalem team at some point, and I just need to pull Lilith still. But Belo's actually like he's Mont, right? He's got all the same skills that jobs that Mont has, and he also has lots of tanky panels. He gets a lot of natural defense on his board, and then he gets all your classic skills for your tank as well. So I'm actually really curious about, you know, that lightning stage. What would it be like to go in with Belo, Mont, and then a healer and some DPS, and just like go hard on trying to cheese that element? It'd be really fun. But more than that, I just want to finish my Kalem team and then start using them in PvE content as well, because it'd be really fun to keep all the gang together that you see in the story all the time. One of my biggest regrets for the tower was not leveling Y'shtola up enough. So I have her at max limit break, but I've only got 4-star awaken, and it means that I'm missing some of her important skills for all of her jobs, and her magic just isn't that high. You know, I wish I had her TMR for her and Medina, and I tried to use her, and even though she's level 80, she's barely doing any damage because I just haven't put enough into her board. So I really do regret not using Y'shtola more, or sorry, not leveling Y'shtola more, and that's someone that's definitely going to be on my to-do list, and that's going to be a really tough list because I've got quite a few people now that I want a rainbow shard, and we are about to get a free MR as well. So there's a lot of options here for me, and this is what like really comes down to the theme of this video, and what I love about the tower is that here is the time for all of us players to show our creativity. Who have we built? Who have we chosen to put our stock into? And how is that going to pay off for us? So there's a lot of big decisions to come, and I'm going to make some videos about that for sure. And I'm also going to talk about TMRs a lot in the future as well, because I've had to make some very important decisions TMR wise and development wise for PvP at the expense of doing things for my homer picks like Mashery and my Calum squad. I've foregone leveling them or developing them so I could do other things. That's all going to be covered in another video. But just looking at my units overall, I feel like I've done a good job focusing on certain units at a time, but there's so many units left that I really would like to build. Alright, so to finish off this account review, I am going to go through a few other things that my account has going on. So you know that I've had some pretty good luck pulling recently, so we're taking a look at some of the formations I have here, and we'll focus kind of on PvP. So my PvP team is still the one that I focused in that video recently, but now Victoria has Etra's TMR. I've been going for defense and a little bit on damage output here, but what's cool is I'm working on my recent free 10-shot pull, Tetrasulfid. I'm working on her in both her level and also with her resonance with Ryryu so that he can get a little bit more damage output. I also got a great comment from someone on that video that the comment's just gone. I can't find it anymore. I don't know what happened to it. It hasn't been flagged on my end. But they talked about using Ryryu as a status inflictor, and that made me think about more about getting his faith up in the future so that he can just in PvP really focus on getting his status effects on people. And that makes sense because I talked about how he's just going to die anyway, so might as well just have him as this super fast person. And then when I get his TMR, because I'm actually not that far, I think I'm only like 50 shards away. When I get his TMR, that will be really cool to see how often he can blind people. For my guild battle, I've got a couple other teams going on here, and this has been really tough. Guild battle has been one of the most entertaining and difficult parts of the game for me because my guild is so good. I'm not quite at the level of my opponents, and it makes it really hard to figure out how to combat them. And I've also had a million times harder challenge trying to figure out the AI in the guild battle maps compared to the PvP arena maps. Like, I don't know what the difference is, but I honestly cannot figure out Ayaka in guild battle, and it's really frustrating. So this has definitely been something that I've worked on quite a bit, and I will cover that in future videos as well. So finally, we're going to take a look at my Espers and Vision cards, just because those have been revamped as well. You all saw that I pulled Odin and Ramu in one go. With Odin, I super focused on him to get him to 2 stars, level 55, and I'm actually building him to be a little bit, so I've got the full Man-Eater for Victoria, and then I actually forgoed the evasion rate to go up into the slash resistance, and what I want to see is Victoria get her slash resistance up so that she doesn't get one shot by Orlandu. So that's kind of my focus here, because his armor crush just 100% of the time one shots her, but the slash resistance, I believe that slash resistance is not affected by the armor crush, because it's calculated after. It's the defense that gets affected. So that is the status of Odin. I put a little bit into Ramu just to get him up so I could use him with some of my units, and then also the tetrasylphid. I've been just recently pulled her, so I've put a lot into her as well. As for vision cards, I'm kind of in this weird spot where I can't awaken my UR cards, so they're kind of tapped out at their potential. I'm starting to have some major regrets not buying Odin shards when I had the chance. I don't think I realized that I could have allocated my Visior differently, but I think I could have bought the last one to break him, and then there's some coming up that I'm gonna have to buy because I really would love to get these stats up, and then obviously his other stats up too, because he's such a great card, but you do need to put the time into him. And then otherwise, I'm really interested in this Path to Revenge card. I'd love to level this up more. The defense is actually kind of low compared to some of the other options, but the slash attack up is a really good party ability. So it's a really nice card, especially if you want to go tanky across your whole team. But otherwise, I've just been kind of working on my MR and lower cards, because those are the ones that I can awaken, but I haven't really been spending the gil, because I've been putting so much gil into developing the abilities of my different characters. As for equipment, I've been working on a new piece of armor for Victora. So I actually tried to make a second shield golden armor, and I don't have a lot of the mats for it, and I just kept making golden armor. So you can see I made 1, 3, it's 4, 7, 8 golden armors, and not a single one of them, I guess 6 technically, that were rolled for their attack or for their types, and not a single one of them was shield. I got all barrier and vital, so I gave up on that because I don't have any more mats to make golden armors, and I started making iron plates. And I've got my 2+4s now, and I need to keep them as is because she's using one currently, but I will combine these this weekend and then raise my +5 iron plate. So then I'll have, by the time it's done, I'm going to have slash attack resist up 6, and then I'll have 15 defense and a little bit of HP as well. So it's going to be really solid once that's all done. And then otherwise, I haven't been working on many other things. I left my Ice Lance at a +3, although I could make a second +3 if I want. I do want to start working on my healing staff at some point, but I need to get books for that. And I also want to start working on my Iron Mace for Mastery, because that is also it's a really solid mace in terms of the stats that you get. If you look at this Iron Mace and then compare it to the SR version, the stats for magic are actually better on this one, and then the MR, the mithril one, is the best, but obviously I can't really afford to raise that many MR equipment pieces, so we're gonna leave that one as is. But that's kind of where I'm at with my my crafting. So that's an account after 100 days of playing, and I have spent a little bit. I've bought the $10 stamina pack twice. I've bought the daily 100 Visior pack once. I've done the daily purchase bonus, spending $1 a day. So it's $139 for me. I've done that twice. So we're looking at something like close to $50, because there's a couple other random things, like the job crystal card, I bought that one. There's a couple other like random little purchases, but otherwise, yeah, I've spent about like $50-$60 in the game, so it's not crazy. It's more than I had originally planned, but I've been enjoying the game so much. I've played plenty of gacha games since I started this channel, even if I haven't told you about that, and this is the only one that there was never really a question about playing it or not. I've just been enjoying it so much, so it's totally worth it in my eyes. So that's it. We're gonna get out of here at this point, but I do want to hear from you all on your thoughts about the tower. I want to hear about how your account's going, etc. And let me know what you think about my account, and if you have any advice for me, aka tell me what to do with my TMRs, what to do with my equipment, etc. I'd love to hear your advice. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can show your support with a like and subscribe, and by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/MysidiaGaming. Until next time, keep it real, Mysidians.